It's not as cold as it's been.
Okay. Now
Yeah,
let's
but
keep it clean because we are on air.
it is a little bit chilly. We're on air now. Yeah, no, it's
We're
the
totally
weather
on
out.
air.
Yeah, so you could feel the cold front coming in today in Toronto with the new, what is it, 10 to 15 centimeters coming tonight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you could feel that, like, viscerally feel that shift in the temperatures as the wind and the clouds came over. Oh, look, I got a notification that we're live on my channel.
That's beautiful.
That's amazing.
Uh,
This is
and
wonderful.
I was wondering if the what was I wondering? I forget what I was wondering.
That's okay. Just
I think
wonder.
I'm actually all set. I'm
Yeah.
actually not wondering anything.
Okay.
I'm wondering what this other computer is going to boot because we're going to go live on your Instagram too over there.
Oh,
But it is
amazing.
the COVID Freedom Sessions. We're here, and it is February 18th, and it's a beautiful day, as Phil was saying, a little bit crisp here in North America, and we're here talking about awareness with Mary Richards. Mary, thanks for being with us again. You're part
Thank
of
you,
our
Mary.
Galactic Freedom Council.
So honored.
Yeah, I'm pleased that you chose awareness because it's really a stepping stone, I think, to a lot of things the way that I see it, and maybe you'd like to lead us off on that.
I, I agree wholeheartedly. We are on a precipice right now, and I think we're going to need to develop our awareness in order to move forward. And we need to address it individually and collectively. So
Yeah,
there you are.
yeah, I know. I know. In the states and in Canada, they just suddenly out of nowhere is interesting. They're going to ban assault rifles, right? In both countries, which is great. But I think that they should also have like a policy about love and people showing love to one another. I mean, they should go. They should do both things.
I haven't heard that about the assault rifles. Are you sure?
Yeah, it's only certain categories.
Oh,
I think it's a category thing, and it could be that it just got picked up at the same time. I mean, it's somewhat related to what happened in the incursion, a little bit potentially, you know.
hmm.
And but I mean, it's a topic. Let's go to Phil. Phil, what have you been hearing about anything this week in the COVID?
You know what? I haven't.
No,
I
you haven't been tuned into that. You've just been tuned into love, and
I've been tuned into the forest. I've
no,
been
that's
taking.
that's totally that's totally good. That's totally good. But
Yeah.
maybe you can share your thoughts, initial thoughts on awareness.
Awareness. Well, awareness sometimes is very scary for me, especially when I become aware of something that I wasn't aware of. So we say the good and the bad, or take that out of the equation, the good or the bad or whatever shows up. Awareness for me shows me something that even though I didn't feel prepared for it, awareness is showing me the next step into growth and what the next steps of my journey are going to look like, which can be very unexpected. Most of the time, it's unexpected. The awarenesses that do show up, but that's like an umbrella for it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think so. I think awareness for me, it sort of comes back to emotional intelligence that Goldman wrote about, and because there's self awareness is the first axiom of the four axioms, right? Self awareness, and there's self control, and self awareness is I think almost key, but you don't know yourself initially. It's like through life you become more aware of self, and you become more aware of others,
Mm-hmm.
right?
And I think
Hmm.
that's an important thing that I think Mary brought in last week around being in relationship with others and being in relationship with self. That's where the growth lies. That's where that expansion happens. So the self awareness and the self love is so important.
Yeah, and some of the people, because I'm on Match, some of the people I meet on Match, I'm going to add that to my profile. And so if they don't get it, then they won't contact me, right? Because it's so key. It's
So
like so key. It's like a screening thing you can use.
so what would you say on the screening?
I would say something like something about love and self, something about a journey of self awareness and myself and looking for love. To if I had to just say it right now without thinking about it, to discover love with another person, not just with myself. Like I would talk about that, and then some people that are a bit power over, what they say without have ego, they say, and if you don't understand this, don't contact me. So some people say that. Some people actually say that on their profile, but that says a lot from an awareness point of view, is that they're not self-aware of how they're pushing their own beliefs on other people of how they should be. They're not accepting people as they are, as we've talked about before on the show, where they are in their journey of life. Right?
But okay, so that's an important point. I love that you said that, and it brings up in me that somebody like that is setting a boundary, but it's maybe the boundary's too heavy, or too rigid. That's what that says to me.
I think it's good to. I want to get to Mary. I think it's good to set boundaries. It's a little telling, but it also means there's something behind that boundary that caused them to do that. Maybe some history or something.
So how do you know that?
What's that?
How do you know that?
Well, because it's an ego, it's bringing it out. Just by them saying it means that there could be something. There's probably something there. Because usually people will bring stuff up based on past events, past something, and so they want to protect. It's sort of like a protection mechanism.
And I know that for myself because I'm aware of that in myself as well.
Yeah, so, and it's okay if they say that. That's where they are in their journey.
Perfect.
Right? They're just saying, needs to be this way. This is like an important matter for me or item for me.
That's it.
It's almost like if you put the cap on the toothpaste. It's almost like they're putting that. It's almost like they're putting that at there. If you don't put the cap on, don't even contact me. Don't even think about it.
Don't even.
Anyway,
Don't
even. See how I'm reading that into that? You're right.
That's it. Where do you squeeze the toothpaste?
I know. Well, you squeeze it from the bottom, you work it up, man. Right? But we've been sort of consuming all the bandwidth here. I really want to hear from Mary because she's been making a mental list of what she wants to say.
I do, and I would love that, and I would love.
I'm really trying to make a mental list.
I would love for you, Mary, to even reference the video that you had sent us because that speaks a lot to what you wanted to bring today. Around trauma resolution and doing individual work for the collective, and the collective doing for the individual and the relationships in between, and what happens with that. And then I'm gonna throw family systems in there and family lines in there too, if you wanna touch on that. So I'm excited to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, there's so much there. I mean, we could spend a year, right, just talking about this. But the text is referring to is Healing Collective Trauma. Thomas Eagle. I hope I'm saying his name properly. So I want to start by thinking about. I have a weird echo right now. Can you guys hear my echo, or is it just on my end?
Just on your end.
I'll just ignore it. No, it's just it's strange. It's like what my teacher Joshin earworm going on at the same time that I'm trying to talk. So that's funny, and it's my own earworm, which is even crazier, right? All right, so it is a good test. So I've been working a lot with this idea of bodhicitta resolve. So thinking about myself, but really thinking about how I am in relationship with others, and how I work in the world to benefit others, and not focusing so much on myself. So thinking about almost a dissolution of myself, going out into the space there and trying to figure out my relationship with others and how I can benefit others. And so as we're thinking about that, and Thomas Hubel and the work that he's doing with healing collective trauma, I was reading last night, actually. He has this amazing idea, and I want to throw it out there and see what you guys think about it. He has this idea that we can actually, I got to find it, I wrote it down. Well, so he's thinking about the idea of subtle body. So I'm interested in that idea of our relationship to self, but then our relationship to our subtle body and how that connects to the larger whole. But he has this idea that our aim should be to pay attention to whispers that come from our own subtle bodies and then also come from, I think, the collective at the same time. And then we have to also, at the same time that we're trying to listen and figure that out and be present, he says we need to also offer ourselves in the service of integration for the future and for tomorrow. And I'm really intrigued by that. He has actually been talking in his text about being able to lean into the past and use our own healing insight. And he talks about it as light, of course, energy, but using that energy and projecting that energy into the past to heal the future. And so I'm blown away by that. I want to know how to do that. I want to do that. And so I think that's what I'm interested in, like this idea of what Lama Yeshe, right? He's Lama. So this idea of being able to develop penetrating awareness from our subtle body and then being able to use that as a healing tool.
Yeah, because it knows things that in our consciousness we don't know. So it's sort of ahead of us, and we have that, as I might say, amnesia to some of that, but we can actually get to it certain ways through meditation and other things, and it will speak to us.
Well, see, I think that's right. We do have like amnesia, that way of describing it. I think what happens is when we're born, the collective consciousness that already exists sort of takes that away. But it's also the passage into this realm that does that too, because we have to adjust to being in physical bodies.
Yeah, we do have to adjust. I think it's a little bit like getting a new VR headset. Have you ever tried those?
Yeah.
You're in virtual reality, and that's sort of like getting born again. You're sort of just like, you're in there, you're like, what is happening? And I'm moving my arms, and where am I right now? And then after a while, you sort of get a hang of it, and that's what you focus on. And yeah, I think that we're definitely more aware when we're kids, and then we get not polluted, but we get into this physical realm and all of this, and we set that aside. But then we always have an ability to tune into that, or some people still bring it, they're tuned in this, even while they're on the way. I mean, I just want to do a shout out to Ed, who's joined us right here live. Ed, welcome. If you like, where are you from, Ed, if you'd like to share? All right. Ed's going to be silent. Oh, there he is. No? Okay. And because, Mary, I know you're up in Alaska and your internet's going up and down, but it's going well. I mean, what do you think about these different bodies and sort of connecting in, Phil? What's your comment on that? Because it is part of awareness. It's using your own current awareness to find other awareness, and then actually you're going to send energy and healing to the past to cure the future or make space in the future.
I think the intention of doing that drives the energy, right, and actually directs the energy. So whatever that is, but where we direct it, that information comes from the relationship, like Mary said, the subtle body and the physical body. So for me, in my experience, is that I'm not a master at this by all means, but I feel like if I pinch my skin, I can feel that. That's a felt sense. Like or if I touch my skin or if I rub my hands, there's a felt sense. But there's another sense in there when I really, really tune in. It's almost like tingles or goosebumps or that when I'm in touch with the subtle body or the wisdom of that place. And I feel when that connection starts to happen, I feel a small, intense vibration happen when those two, those two join forces. We have the physical, we have the energy, subtle body, and then the relationship of the body could be considered yin, and then the relationship of the subtle body could be considered yang, and then the two integrated makes the whole, which is like the spiritual experience. That makes sense to me. But that's what I've experienced. And then the wisdom in there that comes through, it's not something that anybody's told me to be or do. It helps me actually understand and recognize and notice and be able to see and connect to those magical places that I need to connect to. But it's not somebody that's told me to see this. I don't think I could even explain that to someone. It's something that somebody has to come to on their own, in their own terms. But that's the closest thing I could describe it as. If that makes sense. So in that, if I am working with that on myself, and again I'm bringing this in, if there is no separation between you or I am doing the work for the collective. If I'm doing the work for myself, so touching on those points, I'll leave it there, and then we can come around to more in depth. What are your thoughts, Mary or Chris or Ed?
Yeah, it's a great idea, and maybe a song it would be a good moment now for a song.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, because I really want to explore the awareness a bit more, but let's chill out for a bit.
I think the subtle body can definitely bring awareness to the physical body, and the physical body can definitely bring awareness to the subtle body, and each has its own value.
Sleight of hand and twist of fate, on a bitter nail she makes me wait, and I'm waiting for you, with or without you, with or without you. To the storm we reach the shore, you give it all but I want more. And I'm waiting for you, with or without you, with or without you. Oh, I can't live with or without you. Away, and you give yourself away, and you give, and you give, and you give yourself away. Yourself away, and you give yourself away, and you give, and you give, and you give yourself away. Through the storm, we reach the shore. You give it all, but I want more. And I'm waiting for you, with or without you. With or without you, oh, I can't live. With or without you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was amazing.
So, Mary, I had like some interesting thoughts that song brought out about awareness, but I wanted to go to you first. What are your thoughts coming out of that?
Oh my gosh, and you give yourself away. I love it. This idea of dissolution, right? The dissolution. Um, that is a little scary to me, as that is a form of awareness, is realizing that you're trying to dissolve or that you have dissolved. That's really blissful. I find it mostly blissful. I think there's a lot of joy there. I think when we're there, we're in that moment of flow, right? We connect to everything, and boundaries totally. And I think helping people find spaces within which to access that is really important. I guess I'll reinforce what Phil said about sure is really important for me that way. Music is key for me that way. Also visually, photography helps. And I'm interested in what you both do to access that space as well.
Yeah.
Great question. Thank you for sharing that, Mary, and being here. It's well, actually, no. I want to hear from Chris, but thank you so much.
So I wanted to ask Phil how he chose that song, but I will go first. I'm totally good with that.
Let's do that.
No, like, so I'm gonna go first.
Because
is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah. Which is your suggestion? Because I put it out there, I was gonna get you to go first, but I'll just go, and then you can tell me, because it's not gonna change why you chose it. I mean, what I tell you, my interpretation.
I got a story for you.
And then the with or without you, I was just thinking about. It's almost, you could almost sing that song to your awareness. So awareness is something you have to be with, and you can't be without it. Because if you don't have awareness, you always do, but you have a certain level, and maybe it gets, as I was saying earlier, you become more aware over time. I think that's just age and learning. But like as Mary said, we already have some awareness. We're just not accessing it. And can we go back and access that awareness and bring it forward to help us in the future, put some energy on it? But I was just thinking, wow, that's pretty interesting, because you can't be with or without. So it's almost like you're in this position where you have to have your awareness, but you could be without it, but you can't, but you are with it. You can't get away from it, you know? Anyway, go ahead.
No, that's exactly it. Am I aware that I'm not aware?
Yeah.
Just even think of that, right? Or the am I unaware that I'm aware? We could go into those sort of dialogues, but when you guys were talking, the whole with or without you sort of came through. I haven't sung that song in a long time, so I messed up the words a little bit. But the whole message of that song, it is about relationship, but relationship to what? It's not relationship to another, really, because those lines that come in that think that it's about the other is actually a projection of self. Through the storm, we reached the shore. We gave it all, but you want more, and I'm still waiting, and I'm still waiting for you. with or without you, in those words. So when it came through, I was just like, I don't remember the song, but I'm gonna do it anyway. That's what that's what happened. So I guess the key points in the song came through for our discussion this afternoon.
So do you feel like it's more of a relationship message, or is it more of an awareness message? Is there awareness built into it?
Well, I think it's more of an awareness, because what album was that off of? Joshua Tree?
Yeah, for sure.
And Joshua Tree, you know, is like the biggest sound healing center on the Earth, on planet Earth right now, or
Yeah.
one of them. It's really famous. So I think I believe that whole album was about awareness. In the Joshua Tree can bring out that awareness. The music and sound can bring that awareness forth. Stillness and the sound of silence can bring that forth. Being in nature, photography, relationship with others can also bring that forward. The most powerful awareness that I've experienced is in relationship with others. It is so intense sometimes. I'm like, I gotta go hide. I gotta go hide and look at what I found and like really process that, because sometimes it's so bright, I can barely stand it.
Like one of the awareness tips that I think, Mary, you brought it last week on the love freedom session we did, was that you sort of have time with yourself to become fall in love with yourself and know yourself, have awareness of yourself. But if you really want to become more aware and grow, that's when you have a relationship with another person. That's what was suggested on the show, is that to have true awareness, it's almost you have to just have a relationship with others, and in doing so, you become more aware of your own self.
I agree. I agree.
Hey,
with
Mary?
this.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Sorry, Phil, was I talking over you?
No. It's totally cool. Totally cool.
Okay. I'm really thinking about Thomas Hubel again, and I'm wondering about this collective energy. I think it gets really hard for people to figure out what is sometimes their own individual awareness versus the collective awareness that might be being implemented. So interesting too. I think we have to get really shrewd about trying to figure out what are ours and what we have.
Did we break the internet?
Might have.
It wouldn't be the first time. It won't be the last. Let's see if she comes back. She might have to. Mary might have to rejoin again.
Okay. Well,
Maybe we'll do a song.
we could do a song.
Yeah, let's do a song.
But then
Oh, wait.
Oh, there you are. You cut out, Mary.
Darn it. I don't know what's going on with the internet this morning. That's too
Well,
bad.
I mean, yeah, no worries. I mean, you were very passionate at that one moment. And so, do you want to do a recap?
Oh, yeah.
Your energy of your passion, your passionate energy actually impacted the signal of the internet.
Maybe.
There's like a shift.
It launched
There's
out.
one dimensional shift. It was beautiful.
Well, no, Phil, just play a song. It's good because you know what? It doesn't really matter if I was saying it here or saying it here. You know what I'm saying? It's just out. That's right.
Yeah,
So.
and you were just talking about the conscious awareness and how we have to be mindful of the conscious awareness and how that's steered. And you know, some of the different groups that I'm in, you know, we're trying to change the conscious awareness about things, 1 to 3% of the Earth's population, and that will help create a shift in the whole population of the Earth in the whole direction from everyone. And so we need to be aware that we can do that with our awareness and with our consciousness and spread that around for everyone. And that's why you said, hey, it doesn't matter if I just said it and wasn't recorded, it's still out there. And so it's just beautiful. It's just that now, when you're live, it's out there on like 8 different digital channels and getting a little bit more punch, but it's still out there in the universe, so that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Take it away, Phil.
I will. Thank you, Marion. Thank you, Chris. Talking about what's coming through is collective. There's collective consciousness and there's individual consciousness, and if we go into there's no separation, is there really a differentiation between individual consciousness and collective consciousness? I gotta say, some of the things that happened in 2020, the brutalness of 2020, the collective, the people in the streets marching and protesting, that is also a collective. The police were also a collective. What collective is going on? What collective is going on? Is there really a difference or separation between individual and the collective, or individual consciousness and the collective consciousness? Is there?
I don't know. There's a bunch of boundaries that were set by people, right? And they chose sides, which is really, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and things that they would accept or not accept. So yeah, it's interesting how that dimensionally evolved, worked, and is still embedded in many people. You know, I've had people come on both sides and say, I only do business with people that are okay with no masking. I won't go into a business that has masking. And then I have people on the other side I know that say, you know, I need you to have masking, to have masking. And so I just adapt to both, you know, and as needed. I had my daughter who's 3. I was asked at a grocery store I go to all the time to put a mask on by a teenager. And I was like, it's okay, I'll put it on for 5-10 minutes. It's not the end of the world. If it makes them happier and I can get the food I want, then I got it done. You know, but I could have gone to another store.
That's different. There's a difference with your awareness bringing there, and then dealing with the extra segregation and discrimination that's actually happening and going on right now.
Well, yeah, I had one person. Yeah, to them it wasn't about the law. It's just that's the rule in their store now. And I had one person say that's how the Nazis got going.
Yeah.
That people just accepted what they said and did it.
And
right?
It's been a year now, and look what's happened over the year.
Yeah. But are they Nazis because they asked me to put a face mask on my daughter? I mean, that's a bit of a stretch.
That's
you know what I mean? It's the same idea of how it happened, but no, I have to put it on one time. I mean, I've been to that store 30 times. So, yeah, it's interesting.
I think you have to look at the intention and motivation behind the request. I think there's a big difference. I mean, Thomas Hubel, he does a lot of analysis of the Holocaust and of slavery, but it's the intention and it's the consciousness of the people who are asking, and where is the ask coming from, and what's the purpose of the ask?
Yeah, and the purpose there was to protect others.
Right. That seems high. That seems a high level of consciousness.
And care.
That's bodhicitta resolve, of course.
And then I didn't have an ego about it. I just thought about it and I said, well, I can do that. Where's the mask? They had some masks and I just did it. So I know a whole bunch of other stuff and how it doesn't really help and all that stuff, and I could make a statement, but do I really need to do that? I just want to get some groceries right now.
It's like picking and choosing the times to be vocal about your beliefs.
Yep. Or am I giving in? Some people say you're giving in.
That's an
you know,
interesting perspective.
some people would say that.
Yeah, interesting perspective. What's that about? What's the giving in about?
Yeah.
So I think, like, with the awareness, surrender is a part of the awareness of what's appropriate for the situation and what's appropriate for the timing.
And your values and beliefs. It comes into your values and beliefs, and
But I gotta say, man, like, I know that my exterior, my physical mask, my biological mask, and my belief system. Sometimes when I go out there, my belief system is not the same as a lot of people out there. And when I know that I can't go down the street, walking down the street, talking to everyone about my belief system or imposing my belief system on them, I know that's, you know, there's an appropriate time for that. There's an appropriate time like this forum, or if I'm doing a show, or if somebody's come to see me for something that's appropriate for me to voice my opinions and my belief systems. Right? Where then is it safe? If we talk about belief systems, we talk about belief systems of biology, and then how the trauma has affected and impacted the belief system, which then is impacting the biology, which is impacting the thoughts, which is impacting the presentation, let's say, of this mask, like this mask. You know, so when I show up, all of that stuff is in there and is present with that interaction. So
Yeah.
then I remember like the first stages of lockdown in March, I felt so much decompression. It was insane. Like having that kind of space. You know,
Yeah.
I didn't ask for it. Maybe I did. Maybe I did ask for the space, and I just needed the space to do that. And maybe there was a whole bunch of other people on the planet collectively asking and praying for the space to actually just decompress and have a good fucking look at everything that's going on.
Yeah. True.
That kind of you know, that awareness. There's that awareness, and there's the awareness of you're not wearing a mask in the store.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Totally. And anything to add, Mary, before we go to a song?
Yes, let's see. I agree with Phil. I don't think we can always have conversation about our belief system. However, I think that we can act with integrity and we can live our belief system. We can just be our belief system in our actions every day, what we do, how we proceed about things in our life. And even, I mean, what we choose to put into social media stream, those things are really, really, really important. And we can be mindful. What is it that we want to spread? What seeds are we trying to germinate? What seeds are we trying to spread? What kind of change are we trying to implement? And how do we do that? Every moment that the fact that I am here with you, you've invited me, that is such a blessing. But I'm also prioritizing this as something that I think is really important, having conversation with people who are trying to do important things in the world. So I'm thinking about that.
And to answer, Phil's question, I'll go back to you, Mary. It's just that you said, Phil, where can you go to sort of express yourself and have those conversations? And then Mary said this before, you can come to the COVID freedom sessions, my friend.
Right.
This is what this platform is about, for us to explore those things in a safe environment online.
Perfect.
Right? And that's so beautiful. Anything else, Mary?
I'm going to play around with in the next this idea of giving in. I don't think it's the totalitarian. Surrendering can be just the action that's needed.
Yeah, I'm taking surrendering as a future topic on COVID future sessions.
Great.
Whole other book. The surrendering. What are we actually surrendering to?
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna leave this. I'm gonna drop this on you guys.
Uh-oh.
Surrendering is disengaging from a system that no longer serves or no longer works.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So there's a definition of it.
That's it. That's what surrendering is. Surrender doesn't mean giving up. It's like, you know what? I don't have time to engage with that anymore. I'm walking away, and I'm walking away from a system that hasn't served and hasn't protected and hasn't been there. And I want to create something new, or I want to transition into something new. That's my surrender. And I gotta say, I've done a bit of protesting on my own, and I protested with food. I protested. I didn't eat. Basically, I didn't eat for like a month and a half, and I just ate sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds.
Good for you.
And that really cleared. That helped clear. Well, a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff, but especially biology. We talk about the biology. Any sort of excess toxins, all of that stuff sort of has cleared out, which has been amazing. And that has been the biggest journey of like letting go of what it was and bringing myself into now and adapting and acclimatizing to what is going on right now.
Beautiful.
So diet, and you know a lot about diet, Chris. It's like surrendering. So I surrendered to my whole entire lifestyle, and I just said, I'm not doing that anymore.
Good for you.
And then I knew that I could get all of my essential fats and all that stuff with sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds. It was amazing.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you for that. Thank you for telling us that and reminding us of your detox. I mean, detox is another whole thing we can talk about. Just being mindful of the time. We're just about 1 minute left, but I know that songs are usually 4.5 minutes, so we're going to go 5 minutes over.
Okay.
And I look forward to being over because it means that you'll be singing.
Okay, amazing. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. So welcome. I want to do. This is a song I haven't sung in a while. Okay, let's do. This is a.
So long ago, I don't remember when. That's when they say I lost my only friend. But it said she died easy of a broken heart disease as I listened to the cemetery trees. And I seen the sun coming up at the funeral at dawn, the long broken arm of human law. There would always seem such a way, she always had a pretty face, so I wondered why she hung around this place. Yeah, yeah, come on, try a little, nothing is forever, there's got to be something better than in the middle. Me and Cinderella, we put it all together, we can drive it home with one headlight. She said it's cold and it feels like Independence Day, and I can't break away from this parade. But it's got to be something here, somewhere here in front of me, through this maze of ugliness and greed. I seen the sign up ahead at the county line bridge saying all is good and nothingness is dead. We run until she's out of breath, she ran until there's nothing left. She hit the end, it's just her window ledge. Yeah, come on, try a little, nothing is forever, there's got to be something better than in the middle. Me and Cinderella, we put it all together, we can drive it home with one headlight. It's cold. Whoops. This place is old. It feels just like a beat up truck. I turn the engine, but the engine doesn't turn. With the cheap wine and cigarettes, this place is always such a mess. Sometimes I think I'd like to watch it burn. And I'm so alone I feel just like somebody else. Man, I ain't changed, but I know I ain't the same. But somewhere here in between these city walls of dying dreams, I think her death must be killing me. Nothing is forever. There's got to be something better than in the middle. For me and Cinderella, we put it all together. We can drive it home with one headlight. Yeah, some
Wow,
wallflowers.
beautiful.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
Beautiful.
That was amazing,
Great.
Phil.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, being in the middle. Interesting.
Somewhere in the
idea.
middle.
Somewhere in the middle. I mean, that's sort of what happens, I feel, in life, is that things become more gray, and then you become more aware, and you end up in the middle.
Mm.
And I don't think it's about choosing sides. It's just that that's just what is, and it's just around you,
That's it. Whoa.
right?
I like that. It's just around.
Yeah.
All we need is what is around.
And thank you to Jessica, who is boxing up her equipment for work. And
Thank
you're
you,
welcome,
Jessica.
Jessica. You're welcome anytime. She's on one of our Facebook channels right now.
Amazing.
Jessica, yeah, Jessica Steenbruggen. So thank you, Jessica.
Beautiful.
And thank you to you, Phil, and also to Mary, here talking about awareness today. Do you have anything you'd like to add, Mary?
No, I'm full. I feel now to go work with and play with. So I really appreciate the time and your presence here today and what you're doing. Your project is amazing, guys. Keep it up.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thanks, Mary.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Chris. Thanks
Well,
for another wonderful Thursday.
Thank you, everyone, and you know, the fire and energy in our heart, our souls, extends out to everyone who's live and also watching. And until the next week, when we return with the COVID Freedom Sessions every Thursday at 12:30 Eastern, and also on replay throughout the week. So peace and love, everyone. Love and light, and be well.